Hello everyone, Shilpa Duri here. Today I would like to thank everyone who's been encouraging me and supporting me with this channel. Thank you to Donna, Amanda, Mark and all the One Stroke group who has been supporting me. So this is some cute little gift that they sent me. Thank you rock, thank you for making a difference. With a cute little gift. I started using it already. Um, Let me share that with the note. Okay, let me change my camera so you can see that better. Switching back. Alright, okay. Sorry about the shake. Okay. It's a pen, holding pen and a mirror that I can use. You make a profound difference. And a cute little keychain that I can use for my car keys or anything else, any other case. It's so cute. I loved it and I'm planning to hang on to one of my keys and start using it. Thank you so much. Alright, so to move on, so today we are going to do dogwood flower, and I'm going to show in cardstock sheet with all the practice sheets, and also so whenever I switch it gets little blurry and comes back to focus. So and so blue is what I'm going to share, but I also printed few other different color options that you can go with. Okay, berry vine, and these are just few options. You can go with any color of your choice for the combination. And I am going to do some practice sheets. Let's start with some practice sheet on a cardstock sheet today. I'm going to use pink because of the blue color that I'm using as my main focal project, and also this is simple, easy, and we are going to make it simple steps for everyone to follow and easily do this project. Okay, so let me gather some stuff and I will come back. Alright, I am ready with my colors of my choice, and let me show. I am going with the patina, wicker white, cobalt blue, and for the leaves I'm going with citrus green and sap green. And we're going to lighten colors if needed, and we can add more colors later, but as of now this is good for our practice. And of course we need our floating medium. Let me just get the floating medium. So just pour little floating medium in the center. Right, okay. So as you can see, we'll just do the petal practice, whole flower practice, center practice, and also the leaf practice, and quickly once we are done with the practice strokes we'll jump into the project directly. And the pen, I'm going to use some 3/4 brush, an angle 5/8 brush, flat brush 6 size, and also dragger striper brush. I'm going to try it today. I just opened this. It comes with this. nicely packed. And then I have this liner which is more detailed. We can also use a script liner as well. Let me pull one script liner too. Okay, so these are all the brushes that we're going to use, and as always brush caddy with some water filled, and then a napkin. Alright, so first I'm going to use a pencil to sketch the flower petal design so that it's easier for you to do it. If you're doing for the first time, using some reference will be helpful. So it's more of a heart curve on the top. If you notice, it's not like a flat circle, and then it's a heart shape, heart shape petal that we are doing. And also we can also try some wavy instead of just flat, like that also. And we can also try not just heart, some wavy stroke, like that. So you can go with any style of your petal, but we are going to end up doing our heart stroke, and this is 4 petals only. So we are going to have the center. Let's say once we are done with those strokes, we are going to have one petal going from here, right, and one touching on the side, going from here, and each one is touching on the other side, then curving same way. So all 4 sides are done. So now you can decide whether you want to increase on the size of any, decrease on the size. So these reference sketches will be helpful on making sure you are getting on the right size of what you're planning to do. Okay, and this one is curved more, so let me just so those are some flower practice that we're going to do. I'm going to go a little bit closer. Okay, and then for the leaves we are going to do okay, that's one, or you can just go with heart shaped and then add the details later. And then we are going to do one small leaf, and we'll all add little bit of smaller ones later. And the center dots we are going to just go with the tip of our brush, and the little details we can use the liner. Okay, so let's start. So for the flower I'm going to use the okay, so let's see which one to use. I got one more brush that I'm going to use. Let's use the 5/8 angle brush. I'm going to wet it, take out excess water as always. Without even starting painting, I already have paint on my hand. Okay, make sure your brush is nice and clean. tightened, and you are loading whole brush with white first. Okay, one easy way. And you're side loading blue. Just side loading blue. Alright, and then you're just going in flat down, curve to the shape that you have, flat down, curve to the shape that you have, and then stand up as you go. Okay, touch one more time, touch, pressure. So if you're losing your paint, you can just go back, do the same homework again. Only the corner of your brush is having the blue, and the rest of the brush is having the white paint. Touch, pressure, curve. Alright, and then using the same brush, there are different ways that you can get those lines. You can either pull like that, and then we'll let it dry and add other details, or we can just do the first step and leave it like that as well. And then we're going to go with the second one. So here you can see I went up, curve down, little, went up, curve down, and you can see my brush is not standing up, it's little down, so that the paint that I loaded on my brush is also getting onto the sheet. Right? Again, one more time, and every time make sure to load your brush. Loading your brush is important. And for this one, I'm just going to go one, touch, pressure, curving up, and whenever I think I am losing my paint, I'm going back, or I'm running out of the paint that I loaded, I'm just going up, picking the paint of my choice, color of my choice, and then reloading, straightening. As part of this reloading, we're also straightening our brush, if you can see, flattening, straightening. And as you can see, the borders are not filling up properly. That's when you can think of loading your brush once, right? And now just touch of floating medium, just a touch, just dip in little bit and then go back, and now you can see right away the difference when I stroke. So you can see that borders are no longer missing those stroke lines that I want. Okay, and we'll come back to that, not yet. So now we're going to pick up, instead of white this time, on the white side, I'm going to pick this color, patina, and layers of that paint is added to my white. And then I'm just making sure 1, 2, 3 to spread out nicely, and pressure, stand up. Alright, one more time, touch, stand up. So I have my blue little bit on the borderline, darker blue, and if you're comfortable you can use this direction only and then keep moving to the other petals. In case if you're not comfortable, you can just, because it is a small one that you're working on, you can just turn it and do your work. But I suggest you to continue to, you know, use in the same direction, so that when you're doing a big canvas, like let's say you are having enough practice on all different directions, so you don't have to turn to do certain work. Get comfortable in all directions. All right, so we did the third one, and then we'll jump into the fourth one. And I'm just going, so that I'm going away so you can see my stroke well. Pressure, then stand up. All right, I'll do one more time because my borders are not pretty solid that how I wanted. So as we talked, just touch of floating medium will help that. Now watch on the borders how nicely it's filling in, because that little floating medium also is also helping us. Don't worry about the center, because we're going to cover the center with all the details anyways. So just, even if you're not filling it, we can leave it like that. Okay, so those are some. Let's see if this is dried. Yeah, looks like it's dried. So I'll keep this aside, and then I'll pick up a smaller 6 flat brush, wet it like always, take out excess water, and then I'm just loading floating medium nicely, and just a borderline of citrus green. Okay, and what you're doing is just adding that border. Okay, it can be blue also. Let's say if you want to do that blue instead of citrus green, let me rub it off. You can just go with the dark blue because it's the actual project choice that you have. I don't want too watery, so I'm rubbing it off. Just a touch of it. And just side loading. Just side load. And then you can do that as well. If you want, you can darken. You can darken on here. And then using the same brush, you can just maybe, I'm picking up white now. So those are little options that you can go with. Just straightening lines. And when you're going this side, you're curving this side, and you're going this side, you're curving this side. Okay. So that's another way of doing. And maybe we can just borderline one more time later with script liner, but we'll go with this and then add little details later. And then going back to the flower now, using the same, I'm not washing my brush or doing anything. I'm just going and picking citrus green on the white side and then sap green on the blue side. so that touch of the flower colors is also there on your brush. And I want to darken my green little bit, so I'm just going touch of floating medium to help. Alright, so there are different ways. Let me draw one more, so it doesn't have to be so I can have the darker out, touch, curve up. I'm just following the curves that I have, curving down and then standing up to the center by the time you reach. Okay, the same way, other way around. Touch, I hope you can see, yeah. Touch, curving up, curving down. So you can see my border lines are not getting that great. So what I'll do, quickly touch of floating medium, that will help. And I'll go upside down. So yeah, I suggest not to, but yeah, this one easy to show. Now I added floating medium, that made a lot of difference. And then standing up, same way I'm going and doing on the other side one more time. And then once you're done, make sure straighten your brush, and then right when it is wet, make sure you do the center line as well to your leaf. So if you do it after it is dried, the line looks separate, so it won't blend in nicely. So you can also add little detail lines. Because the brush is still wet there, you're able to do those details quickly using the same paint. Okay, and the other option is you can also go with the flat brush that you have. Let me get a flat. If you don't have an angle brush, this is an option. I'm wetting my brush and then picking up dark, light, just loading my brush, making sure I have all the bristles of my brush loaded nicely with the paints that I'm looking for, and 2/3 of my brush is loaded. Pressure. See how much pressure I'm adding, so that inside of my bristles are having the paint that I'm looking for. Okay, so this time instead of darker, let's keep the lighter out and darker in, but you know, flat brush, so in case if you want to use flat, this is an option also. So same way, you're just going up, down, up, down, up. Because the leaf is smaller, I'm just quickly turning instead of spreading out, putting more pressure. And the other side around, easy way is just turn. If it's smaller, if it is bigger, continue to try to do the same. See, it is dry already, so I'm just touch of floating medium that will help me flow easily. Touch, pressure, touch. And then right after that, I'm doing my center line. Alright, so we did both sides, and now we can use the same brush and do the flat one actually. And Here you can see this brush is small, and for this one, let's say I want more dark and only the borderline I want lighter, then you'll have side loading of that light color, that's all, and the rest of the brush will be colored with dark. And then flat, and you can see my hand curving to the direction of the leaf that you have, and as you go to the edge, you're going to stand up straight 90 degrees. Okay, and because we are losing our paint, we're always trying to go back, load our brush with the paints that we need, colors of our choice. Okay, one, and also you can try flattening on the surface of where you're painting itself. So touch, pressure, and keep going, then stand up. And if you see the center was not done, but you can see it is very minimal, and then just the line will take care of this, and you can do that way as well. Okay, and for smaller leaf, whenever you're trying to do smaller leaves, try picking lighter color and make it more lighter, because if you see in nature also, the leaves when they're starting to come, they'll tend to be like lighter in color, and as they grow old, they turn darker. If the natural flower leaf itself is darker, that's different, but in general, if you see, and these are some filler strokes that you can do. Just keep standing, filler leaves like a wild leaf, and then because you have both shades, you're having that lines coming out. Okay, and also let's try with this brush, wetting my brush, and I'm just picking up okay. And this one, it's very detailed painting if you want to do. Let's say I'm going to wash this, and now I just want to pick up this darker blue. I'm going to dry my brush, keep it aside, and then your stroke that you did here, you want to outline, let's say outline, you can do that also. So all you're doing is just outlining. Okay, now we're going to pick up the lighter color here. I'm trying different ways of, and I'm just filling the so lighter shade is not seen that much, but let me pick up some darker shade so you can see better. Alright, here I picked really dark. Green here. So it can be any color of your choice. I think I like this combination, so I'll go with this. So during your practice, you can try different shades, colors, and conclude on like, okay, I want to go with this. This combination is looking good to me. And then you can just jump onto the project with decided strokes that you want to work on. Alright, so that's our practice, and in case if you went beyond your, because it is dry already, you can take a fresh brush which is not used, wet it, and you can take off the color quickly if you accidentally went beyond where you wanted to go. See, it just got, because this can be done because it is dry already with the other paint strokes that we did. Okay, now we are going into the center. So it can be just using a tip of your brush, and maybe if you want to make it a smaller, you'll use the small tipped one and then do these dots. So for me, I'm going to use this tip, my center dot, and then the second layer is citrus green. I'll go around, pick up just a little touch to go around with citrus green, and then again going back to the darker shade, and the third round will be try to make it small, and if it is not coming small, you can use the smaller brush or pin tool. And then the final details is going to be, you can use one sharpened one, okay, because you have the green already, you're pulling from that green. This is a fine detail liner that I'm using here. Okay. All I'm doing is fine details too. And if you don't have enough paint there, you can just pick up from the pile of paint. And also, if you can notice, I'm following the shape of the flower petal, going accordingly. Okay. Okay, I'm going to turn it easier this way, and it can be shown easily as well. Alright, and we're going to pick up some white to the same and add a fine line of white. And don't pick too much of paint, just a little, so it is just the tip of your paint that you're trying to do here. So our flower is done. And also I forgot to show the bud part, so let me just quickly do a bud. So I'm just, because this is fresh, not used, I'm picking this. Loading your brush, touching. Alright, and then for the bud part, you want to have more blue. Reason, it is darker normally when it is bud. As you open it and the flower fades also, it starts becoming lighter. Okay, so for the bud you can, and if you want to show something that is opening up, you can just do it. This is to just show as if it's opening up. And also if you want to show completely a closed one, you can just go by one on the back and then one on the sides and then center. So it's more looking like a closed bud. Okay, you can add the same way the green in the center. To show as if there is, this part is still opening, it's inside. Okay, and also for these you want to make sure to have the bud closed with some leaves around. So it can be any brush, but has to go around. And then one on the center to show that it's covered. And then to pull the stem downward. Alright. And so for this also, it can be one going on the center, two going on the side, and then the branch or the stem that goes with it. My brush is too alright. So those are the stroke study. We can make use of any strokes that we want when we go into the project. So just as a reference of different approaches. I'm keeping that aside. Now jumping on, putting all my brushes in water because I left it to the side. So I'm just want to make and have fresh brushes quickly to start on our painting. I don't have to do a clean kind of, just take out excess on your Let's drop some water and then we can make use of those. Okay, so we're going to do the same, just sketch quickly. I'm going to turn it. Alright, so it's sketched out design. So I want one. So this is my center, let's say. I'm doing it lighter this side because and there's one big. That's the second one. It's the third one. I sketched. Oh, okay. I hope you can see it is very light. Same design. I'm just doing this. Okay. I'll darken it for you guys. But when you are doing it, make sure it's only lightly done. Okay. Because you don't want to show your pencil strokes. Normally with darker shades you won't see that, but just in case. Okay. And then the second flower I'm going to have it here. Same approach. Touching it. Okay. So now when I did this, I will notice, okay, this is not centered. This is too small. This is too big. You can make adjustments accordingly. This will help us have it aligned properly. You can do freestyle also without doing this, but somebody who's new, this technique will help them to get it right. Okay. Alright, so we have two of these, and then I want one flower, small bud going here, and then small unopened one, slightly open one, not unopened. And then I want one bud going this side, coming a branch coming from there, and then I want some leaf going from here. Okay, and I want one stem going from here to this, and again one more leaf. Going from this side. Alright, and one more leaf going this side, and one more leaf going on. So the outline of my sketch is there now. Let me take a picture so I can share what I have. And oops. Okay. And other smaller leaves, smaller details, we can do that later also. But just to start with, the major big ones is what we are going to sketch. So to start with, we'll start with the flowers and then we'll move on to the leaves. Okay. So I'll go with the 5x8 angle brush like before. And I'm going to pick up white and then touch of blue. Make sure it is side loaded only, and then patina on the white side, loading nicely, making sure my brush is having enough paint, both colors loaded well, touch of floating medium. Alright, so I'm just going with the first stroke. You can see that I'm going little above the pencil line so that the pencil line is not showing up also. Covering that pencil stroke. One more time. Okay. Just going up, curving down, curving down. One more time. Just every stroke I'm going back. And if I'm not happy with anything, I'll restroke. We are doing wet on wet technique. So you can always go back, redo if you're not happy with the stroke. The third one. I'm getting touch of floating medium, so it flows easily for me. One more time. Ran out of my paint, so going back, picking up, loading my brush, coming back, restroking. Alright, so 4 sides of one flower is all done. So I'm going with the second one now. Loading my brush again, touch of floating medium to flow easily. And then here you can see that petal is overlapping with the other one. So just go by the design. Don't hesitate to cover the previous one. Pressure so that all my brush paint that I loaded on my brush, all the color is getting on instead of just holding on to my brush. So this will help us make use of the paint and then no need to do repetition also. This covers the whole paint in one stroke. And also every stroke you're going back, reloading your brush again. And here If you can see, it's all covered. So I'll start from this side so you can see better. Stand up, cover. I'll go one more time on this last one because I want to make it little curved out to have that intact shape in place. Same with this one. I want to have this little curved out. Okay. I'm just dabbing on the center because of the excess paint. Anyways, in the center we're going to have all these dots, so that will be covered. So you don't have to worry on those lines. And the little details that we're going to do also takes care of it. And I'm just making sure if it is too much of paint. Sometimes when the brush is not going according to your need, you can just take out all the excess paint and oops, I went on the wrong direction. Pick up the colors of your choice again, reload one more time. Don't wash it, just take out excess paint. And now if you go back, restroke, you will see the difference. Okay, one more. If there is excess paint, take out excess. See that? One more. The centering. Okay, so both are done, and now as we did in the last practice stroke, we're not going to wash our brush, we're going to use the same brush, load our brush, touch of floating medium. So now you can decide whether light out or dark out. I'm going to keep the dark out, dark in and light out. Maybe let's give it a try. So touch of white. And we talked about it, right? While it is wet, it's good idea to do the detailing right away. So I'm going to use this flat brush some floating medium to it, and then just pull from the same paint. Okay, I think it became thick, but that's fine. That's one type of leaf that we are trying to get. It looks good though. Touch of white, lighten, floating medium, and same way stand up. It got little messy. Let me turn, restroke one more time, pick up more white, lighten my color. See, you can fix your strokes. Don't worry if it didn't come out that great in your first try. You can always have that fixed. And I'm going to use the same brush to keep it consistent. Right. Now to show you the flat also, instead of just the same brush, in case if you don't have this angle one, I'll just do one with the flat as well. Just pick up the same paints, load, touch of floating medium. Make sure your brush is nice and flat. That's the important part of it. And I see some pencil strokes here. Let me rub out all extra ones right now. Okay, so now you're just flat, going up, pulling in, going up, pulling in, straight 90 degrees. Again, one more time. One more time. Touch, load, touch of floating medium also, and then go back, flat, flat, 90 degrees straight. And if your stroke didn't cover nicely, you can always, as same approach, right? You can always go back, restroke. And you can use the same brush also, do these lines, but because we are using this brush, we need to maintain that consistency of the thickness of the lines. I'm just going with the same brush. Okay, one more. One more. Touch of floating medium, load, and then load, load, keep up. Same way. See, I'm spreading my bristles because my brush is small, area is big. That's one way that you can cover most of it, or you can go with a bigger brush. But this one also covers. Touch of floating medium. And I'm going one more time. Oops. And then with the same brush, we are doing this line. Alright. So we have 4. We wanted to make sure it is always odd number when it is less than 5. So I'll add one more to my leaf. Okay. Where do we want to add is anywhere that's not covering much. Let's say this one. Here I don't have a traced. I'm just going by what I feel will look good. That's all. Where the leaf will look good. It can be different location, not just this. Just happened to be I chose this. I want to lighten this, so pick some white on the lighter green side. Then with the same brush, so you have all the 5 sides that you want. And now we're going to do the buds and then open ones with the flat brush. Okay. So like we talked before, I'm going to have some darker blue, more, and evenly half and half maybe. Loaded nice. More dark blue. The brush is sliced and well here loaded nicely. And here I'm going to go with this bud. So this is the back side petal that I did. Okay. And then I'll just go back, do one side petal, one other side petal, and one in the front covering those petals. Okay. And one little on the side to close the loop. Okay. Here it's going to be one on the back, one straight line on both sides. Just touch, pull, stand up. Okay. And I want to make it darker, so and now one covering the whole, more white touched. You have your dark shade but more white touch, so you know that bud is covering. Okay, that's one bud. That's closed. And I'll add one more here. This one is actually curving down. There's a leaf coming from the side. we are trying to show that here. Okay, and then we'll add one more going in this direction, that is still opening up. One on the back, one on the back, and one more opening kind of. Okay, and same way here I'll add one more. The back, back, nice. And then we'll go with smaller leaves later, but our main part of flowers that we wanted is done, but because it is two only, so let's add one more that is going behind kind of. So we can show as if this one is there, but the rest of the flower is going behind. Same like our reference. Then, because that's a darker flower that's coming out from here, so we'll be covering with other details, but that's petal that is going behind is what we are trying to do here. Okay, and we want to fix our flower also. So now, because I have my brush already loaded, I'm going to use the same with some floating medium and make sure it is straight and nice. Okay. So I can add all these little details of stems where it is supposed to be going. And here you can see this upside down one is what we are trying to do here. I'm just adding little details to this before we go on. Okay, I'm done with this brush. Now we're going to pick up our small sharpen one and do the detail leaves. And I'm going to use a lot of floating medium to get the details that I'm looking for. Okay, and like before, we're just going to add close this and I'm adding all these little leaves. And as you can see, I'm not picking up paint. I'm making use of the paint that I have, I mean the colors I have. And as I'm losing, I'm just going and picking up so that you get different shades, not exactly same shade everywhere, kind of. It's a blend of shades of leaves that you're getting. And here I'm going to just go straight lines. Yeah, filler strokes that we talked about. We're going to do that. It's always good to have some fillers. That gives more detailing to our painting. And then I'm going to use the same style on the top ones also here. Just picking up as we go. Picking up. I'm quiet when I'm doing the same repetition of strokes, but all I'm doing is now filler strokes, that's all. And let's add one detail here as well. So if you make any messy strokes that you're not happy about, you can fix it with some fillers later. Okay, so don't worry if that happens. So like example, this one I'm not happy about. All I'll do is just picking up white and made it into some kind of fillers here to cover that. Okay, and to keep it consistent, I might add some going in this side as well. Right, so now we're going back to our center part that we want to do. I'm going to pick one brush that has smaller tip and then do the dark center first. That's done. Using the same brush, I'm going to do the detailing, or you can use this pin tool also. So let's try that. Lighter, so it is more consistent on the sizes. Okay. So we are going to now go with this detailing one. Oops, pour some water. Sorry. Okay. And just getting into that green. And then now we are getting into little details for each petal. It's too much of paint. Touch of floating medium will help lighten. Also, just doing all the details. That's why I was just quiet, doing the same repetition steps here. And then pulling, 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 pulling. Floating medium. Not too much because you'll make it really dark or make it really watery. Now using the same brush, I'm going to pick up do this dark blue line on each heart-shaped border. All four sides I'm going, and then here I'm making sure, oops, I put my finger on the painting. Making sure all four sides are covered now. Now I'm going to pick up white like before and just go with white. I missed one place. I'm going to fix that. Let's get the dark blue again. Just missed one place. White again. All four borders we did, and then some filler strokes we can also just use the same. And add fine details of white here and there. Right? And here we forgot to add little leaves here, so we can, and also the stems that needs to go. I'm going to pick up my brush again, just making sure. Okay. Anyway. going to use this to do some fillers. I don't like that, so what I'm going to do, quick fix, is going to be adding just a long leaf there. Then lighten. It's good. And also we talked about having the buds. Take out excess, just light dots of white, not too much. And here I'm going to have a small leaf going in there, covering the petal a little bit. This one. Okay. Some leaves going in there, and I'll have one more going in here. One leaf going in here. Just looking all around, seeing what else I can do. And as you can see, this part is little darker, so we can lighten that if you want with this same brush. This one, wet it, floating medium, and then just the putty. If you want, you can do that, or leave it as is. Let's do a comparison of which one is better. The detailed one without doing these fixes will look better actually. So you can just leave it as is. So because I did this already, so all I have to do is quickly take fresh wet, and because everything inside is already dried, you can do that. So if you gave enough time, these kind of experiments that you tried on your project also can be corrected, because that other part is already dried. See, only the top layer is pulled out and you're good with it. So I'm happy with the way it is, so I'm just fixing that quickly and then going back with my dark green because of doing that one extra step. It just cleared some of my dark green strokes. So just getting it back. To where it was before. Okay. So that's our finished project, and then I'm going to use the same brush and do my sign. Hope you enjoyed it and see you next time. Thanks for watching. Let me just make sure you have a view of everything quickly. And just a recap of everything. This is what we tried, and I made some adjustments to the painting. And these are different colors, some options. You can go with other colors as well. These are some options I got together. And then this is the practice stroke that we did before we jumped into the actual project. Alright, hope you enjoyed the class and see you next time. Thanks, bye now.